It's tough in the DTM because the testing is so limited. You know, we haven't been on track since, say, October here at Hockenheim, and then you have 5 months or 4 months, 5 months for the engineers to think about what to do, and then we have to squeeze it all into 4 days. So there's so much stuff to test and so many things we want to try and do that sometimes you come away and think you're quite disappointed we didn't manage to do anything. But I think actually we managed to get quite a lot done. I mean, the main thing is trying to get the reliability up to make sure the car is reliable and we can do as many laps as we want. The other thing, obviously, here at Hockenheim, the weather hasn't been great, which affects the testing because your testing is based around having a nice dry circuit and consistent conditions. So when it rains on and off, it disrupts the testing quite a lot. So we haven't done as much as we'd like, you know, but it's the same for everybody. And I think that we hopefully come the first race, we'll be ready. You're always looking about trying to improve the balance of the car and looking for the right compromise, because you're always looking for a compromise between aerodynamic performance, downforce, and mechanical, because they're actually the opposite to each other, you know, in relation. If you want good mechanical grip for low-speed corners, the car needs to be soft and needs to be stuck to the road. And then for aerodynamics, for high speed, it needs to be very stiff and keep the car very flat. So it's finding a good compromise between the two. And then the second thing, probably the more important thing, is to try and get the best out of the Hankook tyres. You know, you can change this car setup for a week and find half a second. You can change the how you use the tyres and find 1 second in a day. You know, so it's really important to get the right temperatures, the right pressures. And the problem is the outside temperature of the air and the circuit changes how you're supposed to use the tyres. So it's always it's a moving target all the time. So understanding the tyres is probably the most important thing. It's too close. I mean, if we see from last year, you know, they were very closely matched in the last couple of races, and I expect the same again this year. I don't think there's really any big gaps, and the cars haven't changed that much. So if we do a good job, I expect us to be fighting hopefully in the top 10, yeah, hopefully further up. If we don't do a great job, we'll probably be towards the back, but I hope we're going to have a good year. But to be honest, I think it's going to be a very close and very tight fight again, so I don't think there's really any big advantages or disadvantages for anyone so far. We've raced here so many times, you know, we do the first and last race here pretty much every year, so we've done a lot of testing here. I've driven thousands of laps around this circuit, so I think it's good to come to a circuit with the car that we know, because then you know what to expect. So it is good, but to be honest, I think it's the same for everybody, you know, maybe we're a little bit more prepared for the first race than the other races because we're testing here, but to be honest, it's not so important, I wouldn't say. Obviously, after the testing, we have to go and analyse all the data we have and try and put together a good car for coming back here at the first race. So from the team point of view, that's what's important, is to analyse everything, analyse how we're doing pit stops, analyse the starts we're doing, analyse the car performance, and try and get ourselves as better prepared as we can for the first race at Hockenheim. And then personally, you know, I'll go back after the testing, see how I feel, and try and make sure I'm in the best shape I can be for the first race.
Yeah, I think preparation is good. Obviously, the biggest winter I think ever in DTM history. So maybe a good thing. We have the new shape change, obviously, with our new generation of C-Class body. But you know, the team obviously has to develop on and try and come back with a championship-winning car as it had last year. And I think arriving here, Hockenheim, for the last test, we're good prepared. We just need to see whether the car is competitive enough against our other manufacturers. Many things. I won't go into the details because obviously it's very confidential, but I think it's baseline in the car, see where we left off from October last year at the last race, and ultimately we need to go forward because in motor racing things evolve. But as long as you have a good feeling, I think the short impressions we have from the team, and certainly from Monte Blanco, the test before, was good. It's obviously going to be quite a busy year with me. Along my DTM, which is the important thing, I have the reserve driver role with Williams Formula 1. So I'm attending the next 2 Grand Prix, which will be in China and Russia. It's always nice to hear fresh ideas and what's coming from that. Formula 1 is obviously quite a high level. But other than that, just training, preparing, speaking to my guys, and yeah, coming to Hockenheim whenever the first race starts with our elbows out and ready to race.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, personally, I just want to get back in the car. I haven't driven yet so far in Hockenheim, so I'm driving the last 2 days. So yeah, just out trying to see what we can learn as a team, trying to help the team out by going corner to corner and seeing how the other cars are behaving compared to our Mercedes, and see if where we're strong and where we're weak. So it's been some long days, some hard days of testing, and yeah, I think it's going all right so far. We know where we stand. We know how much we still have in the pocket, you know, but you never know about the others. All you have to do is just worry about ourselves and see how we are. I mean, we know last year we needed some work to catch Audi. They were the strongest car. And yeah, we're going to keep going until we get to the first race and see where we stack up before the season starts. And then we do 2 races each year. So it's, yeah, I think everyone, it's why it's always a tough race to win, because everyone is always really strong here. So it should be a challenge.
Man kann Tendenzen ablesen, aber es ist schwierig zu sagen, ob wir jetzt wirklich die schnellsten sind oder die langsamsten sind oder ob wir im Mittelfeld sind. Das ist ganz schwer einzuschätzen. Wir sind auf jeden Fall dabei. Ich glaube, das kann man sagen. Wir sind nicht zu langsam. Aber ob wir jetzt am Ende ein Zehntel schneller oder ein Zehntel langsamer sind als die Konkurrenz, das kann man noch nicht abschätzen. Die Hosen werden erst im Qualifying runtergelassen. Von daher gilt es ja einfach, das Testprogramm durchzuziehen. Man hat ungefähr eine Ahnung, mit wie viel Gewicht die anderen Hersteller fahren. Das sind 20, 30 Kilo plus minus, und den Rest wird man dann erst am ersten Rennwochenende sehen. Das Ziel ist ganz klar, den Titel in Stuttgart zu behalten. Wir haben lange darauf gewartet, oder wir mussten lange dafür kämpfen, ihn nach Stuttgart zu holen. Jetzt wollen wir natürlich auch in Stuttgart halten, ganz klar. Ja, wir mussten ewig lange darauf warten. Die Winterpause in der DTM war lang. 6 Monate haben wir nicht im Auto gesessen. Jetzt geht es endlich wieder rund. Und natürlich kribbelt es unheimlich.
Well, I think you can improve everything. It's great to be testing here in Hockenheim because it's the same place where we have the first race. So you can improve in every situation, and we are trying to get the best out of it and focusing on every aspect of the car. You know, on tires, on the setup of the car itself, on the aero of the car, everything. It's difficult to say. The first real test is the first race. So right now it looks like everything is really close again because every year in DTM everything is so tight between the competitors.
Die Rundenanzahl passt, was immer wichtig ist, speziell bei mir jetzt, weil ich erst in der 2. Saison bin, ist wichtig, dass ich noch Runden und Kilometer sammle. Und sonst total zufrieden. Wir haben ein Testprogramm gehabt, was wir gut abgespult haben, und fühle mich relativ bereit für den Saisonauftakt. Jetzt bin ich froh, dass ich wieder in einem DTM-Auto sitze und das bald losgeht. Das Auto ist grundsätzlich so schön zu fahren, produziert so viel Aerodynamik, hat super Reifen, gute Leistung, also ich finde es herrlich.
We had a lot of running, which was important for us. We could have done many tests, and also it was important for me to get mileage in the car. As I'm a rookie, you know, it's very important. So yeah, it was a really good day and a really important day. Well, let's see how we are in qualifying, you know, but I think the car is competitive. We got a good base. On my side, at the end, I'm quick. I'm in the pace. So let's see in quali how we are. But I'm sure, yeah, we will be strong.
Also ich war Rundenkönig, in 2 Tagen über 250 Runden, ist nicht so verkehrt, das ist eine ordentliche Distanz. Natürlich auch mit Außeneinfahrt, wir haben sehr viele Boxenstops geübt, da fährst du nicht über Stadt und Ziel, aber dennoch, du sitzt im Auto, du fährst draußen rein, hast die Boxeneinfahrt, die Boxenausfahrt, wo du auch, wie gesagt, Zeit verlieren kannst. Also so um die, ich würde mal sagen, 1200, 1300 Kilometer legt man schon zurück in 2 Tagen. Es ist schon sehr schwer. Wir wissen nicht, was die anderen für Programm fahren, was für Gewicht sie fahren, was für Spritmengen. Das ist wirklich sehr, sehr schwer zu sehen, aber aus Erfahrung heraus, die Zeiten, die da oben stehen, das ist schon dann unter Qualifying-Bedingungen gefahren. und da kann man ungefähr abschätzen, wie schwer oder wie leicht ein Auto ist. Aus der Vergangenheit wissen wir, dass die DTM sackeng ist und wirklich da teilweise 5, 6 Autos in ein paar Zehntelsekunden sind. Und von daher, wenn man die Zeit dann am Ende des Tages sieht, kann ich mir vorstellen, dass es schon alles Quali-Runs waren.
Tu opinión nos interesa. Si tienes algo que decirnos, envíanos un mail. Esperamos tus sugerencias.
Too much tension. Too much heartache. Too much trouble in my life.